City volunteers reach out to an elderly father who cares for his paralyzed son. A Chinese elementary school in Malaysia holds a clean-up event before school reopens. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. An 85-year-old father has been taking care of his paralyzed son for more than 10 years. The father has become too frail to take care of his son, but he's unwilling to send him to a nursing home. In addition, the father does not trust people. How can city volunteers help this family? Here's our story.
He suffered from polio when he was little. Back then he could not walk, so he crawled. Then he learned to walk and started to go to school.
Why don't you send him to an institute so people can care for him? You could send him to a nursing home. As we care for this family, we have felt that the senior has love for his son. Because of this father-son bonding, he pampers his son. He'll allow him to do everything, such as smoking or drinking alcohol.
How
do you take care of Jianzhi? How do you care for him?
I begged him to eat. He said okay. So I scooped out some food for him. He would say he's full after eating less than 1/3 of the portion.
Really, when I feed him, he eats a lot. You've been pampering him. You usually give him herbal liquor drinks.
I am thinking that it is his fate. If I die suddenly, there is nothing I can do. I do not die.
The senior used to own land and properties. Then he lent this to his friend who took out a loan. We do not know what happened, but we heard that his friend did not pay him back the money. The piece of land was sold by the court auction. As a result, the grandpa became homeless. 10 years ago, the borough chief lent him the workers' dormitory. We feel that he has built a high wall to protect himself. He no longer trusts people.
所以在这一方面，我们的感受就是说，阿公他把自己筑出一条很高的一个墙，保护他自己，他不再信任别人。
特别较顶啊吼，因会先甲咱看一下，迄个人工吼，因组织一个这个师兄师姐来甲咱评估，看咱需要改善的所在。
今麦安尼甲你报，
对，安尼正正，照先来看最近。这个出这吼，你打都袂出。对了，你若涂骹，你若身躯细细动吼，这打落去随该切拍。即摆遐甲你做一支吼，你变数背起来，你怎办你记就好啊。你遮身躯多少遮？
In the Philippines, 30-year-old Christian suffers from congenital cataracts. Due to his vision problem, he can only collect and sort recyclables. In order for his two daughters to have a better life, he hopes to have surgery to improve his eyesight. Therefore, he took the initiative to contact Tzu Chi Eye Clinic to seek opportunities for change.
Christian was born with cataracts. Although he is 30 years old and healthy, no one wants to hire him because of his vision problems.
Because of my situation, I can't be accepted by society. I cannot do any other jobs except from collecting garbage.
The family relies on him to collect recyclables for a living. He lives in a wooden house on the second floor with his wife and 2 daughters. For the future of his daughters, he wants to change. He learned about Tzu Chi from a TV show and took the initiative to seek help.
I hope I have the opportunity to find a good job and earn more money so that I can provide them a better life.
The first time he went to see a doctor, the whole family was full of expectation and uneasy because Christine not only suffered from cataracts, but also accompanied by eye movement. The risk of surgery is high. It was not until the completion of the operation that he believes the dream really came true.
Every time he left home to work, I used to be very afraid and worried for him since he cannot see clearly. Now he can see better and more at ease.
Christine's wife no longer has worry and fear, and their daughters can grow up happily. Christine can also be a pillar of the family and pursue a happy future for his family.
In Bukit Matajan of Malaysia, a Tzu Chi care recipient lives on his own and has trouble leaving the house due to his physical health. He hasn't had a haircut and shave in half a year. When the country's movement control order was lifted, Tzu Chi volunteers visited to give him a haircut and shave.
Last time, how you cut your hair?
Christmas I cut.
Christmas, half a year. So how long have how you cut your hair?
Barber.
Oh, barber.
In my sister's daughter's house.
Oh, okay. So they never come to visit you.
This care recipient is a solitary senior. He and his wife are divorced and he doesn't live with his children. When we first got this case, we came by and saw he had mobility issues, but when we wanted to take concrete action to help, we were met with the movement control order. Finally, last week when we returned, we saw how long his hair was, and his beard was unruly. So we suggested giving him a haircut and trim.
Tzu Chi volunteer Teo Big Sok was a hairstylist in the past. Thus, she came to especially give to Yamani a haircut.
Thanks for this auntie cutting my hair, everything. Yeah. Thanks very much. Then thanks for you all helping me.
You look young and fresh now.
What to do? I look very fresh already. So thanks one more time.
We're only taking half an hour to an hour out of our time to help him, but for someone who can't leave the house often, this has really helped him.
As the movement control order has been slightly lifted, Tzu Chi volunteers can finally take action to help care recipients and deliver their signature care.
The Tzu Chi Foundation is promoting the concept of eating 80% and giving 20% to help other people. In Myanmar, this program is helping the less fortunate.
Although food has become rare in some corners of the earth, some people are still willing to deny themselves in order to help others, giving them a handful of rice. Entering the Buddhist country in Southeast Asia, Myanmar, there's a unique way of doing good deeds, which involves giving rice. Although the rain is falling in Xue Na Gwin village in Taiji Township, the high emotions of local people cannot be dampened. The villagers greeted the arrival of Tzu Chi volunteers with enthusiastic singing and dancing. It's a lively and festive mood, as today's the day that they donate rice and everyone is looking forward to this activity.
In the days of grandparents, we had a custom of saving a handful of rice every day. Grandma said this rice would be sold for money to buy flowers for the Buddha and support the Buddhist monks or help those in need.
To save a handful of rice per day is a practice that these farmers undertake regularly. This action is actually quite simple, as before they eat, they grab a handful of rice and store it in a container before donating it to others.
Villagers who don't farm and didn't receive bamboo canisters, I will buy similar containers to give them so that they can store rice. No matter how many I give out, I still don't have enough, but I feel very happy.
Tzu Chi volunteer Wu San Deng is also a local farmer. Because he once benefited from the kindness of Tzu Chi, he participated in volunteer training and became one of the seeds of Tzu Chi in Myanmar. For many Burmese people, giving rice and doing good deeds is a part of local custom. For poor farmers, it may not be easy to give a sum of money, but giving up a little bit of their food every day and consuming less is a good deed that is simple and can benefit others. Farmer Yu Min Tso is the first person in Myanmar to donate into rice banks. This all started with Cyclone Nargis disaster in 2008. The disaster destroyed crops and rice seeds, and he worried that his future livelihood would be affected. It wasn't until the arrival of Tzu Chi volunteers that his outlook for his career and his homeland were lifted.
These pillars were made by cutting wood in 2010, and they were bought after the Cyclone Nargis disaster.
Yu Min Tso understands the principle of repaying people's help. After he became acquainted with Tzu Chi, his spirit was moved, and he saved some rice from each meal. The whole family ate less. They slowly accumulated rice that they could donate to the poor.
Grab a handful of rice and serve it once in the morning and again when we cook in the afternoon. We can all do good deeds. When a rice barrel is full, you can sell it to help people, and you have another chance to do good deeds. So you get two opportunities to do good deeds.
From then on, everyone in the village started following him. What was 10 people became 100. They all learned from Yu Min Tso and began to save a handful of rice. This warm act of compassion even spread overseas. In the school, the children would save half of the rice for a long time and exchange it for cash, donating to the victims of the Hurricane Harvey and flooding in Malaysia.
During Cyclone Nargis, we didn't have food and no place to sleep, so we're grateful for the opportunity to give a little bit of support for these victims. I sincerely pray for them, but I was also reminded of the fact my father lost his life to save people. It's really sad.
In addition to the rice bank, some people also imitated the spirit of the bamboo bank era and deposited small amounts of money.
I finally figured it out. The tranquility of the soul is not just for my own personal enjoyment. I hope to spread it from one person to two and then to 100 people or 200 people. If everyone has love, the world will be safe.
Life may not be easy, but please don't forget the suffering of other people. Eating only 80% full and saving 20% to help the needy is a way to help everyone live a little easier.
In Guizhou, Yangdeng Township is located in the mountain areas. This year, the region was devastated by heavy rains 5 times and many houses were destroyed. City volunteers went there to assess damages and distribute consolation cash. Having been through rainstorms and fallen hillside 5 times, Tu Huayong's new house has been buried under the mud.
I've just returned for a few years. I saved money to build a house. After the house is built, it is gone.
Yangdeng Township in Guizhou is located in the mountain areas. Most residents make a living by farming. While their homes have been destroyed, their crops have also been flooded. Since there's no electricity at the shelter, they cannot sleep at ease at night. City volunteers have come with important supplies.
For evacuated residents, the electric generator allows us to have lights. It ensures we have the basic use of electricity.
Volunteers have also delivered consolation cash to calm everyone's mind.
Thank you for supporting and caring for us.
Hambing Chinese Elementary School in Malaysia's Penang is having a cleanup event before school reopens again. To help, about 120 people from city's entrepreneur group, Northern District City Academy, and the school's parents and students came together to disinfect and clean, so the students of the school may return without worries.
As the movement control order has been lifted, many schools in Malaysia are working towards reopening the campus. To help Hunbin Chinese Elementary School in Penang start school again, 86 people from Tzu Chi entrepreneur groups and Tzu Chi academies went to the school to help disinfect and clean up.
We have 10 people from the company here today. I want to bring more people next time. We are learning how to actualize charitable givings. Right now, charity giving as a business isn't about what is the business getting back from giving. Many people are helping today, not just us. We're working together towards a goal, and it's a good day.
Moreover, 40-some parents and students also joined the cleanup event to ensure the school can open in time.
Although we can say that the school is big, but when there are so many of us here to clean a little, we can clean up the large campus thoroughly. I see this event as a family bonding experience.
This is such a meaningful event. The school is like a second home to the children, and we hope each child can be in a clean and healthy environment. Seeing the results of our hard work is quite satisfying.
This cleanup event is only a part of the activities that the Tzu Chi Entrepreneur Group is doing, and they are looking to do more charitable events in the future.
When we take from society, we should also give back to society, in terms of protecting the environment or giving back to the environment. Although we are all sweating by the end of it, everyone is having a great time. This feeling isn't something that can be brought like material goods.
With the contribution of everyone's efforts, the students of the school can return to the campus without worries.
According to statistics, about 3 million people are stateless in Malaysia. Since they're stateless, their children cannot enjoy social welfare benefits provided by the government. In our next report, we take a look at the harsh lives of some stateless people near a landfill in Malaysia.
The smoke came from the garbage mound, and the air was filled with a stinky smell.
Ini tempat tidur kamu? Ya. 好。枕头在那边，就睡在这里。Karena ini budak-budak pun tidur ini macam. Baring. Baring saja? Ya, baring-baring.
The villagers here all sleep next to this landfill. The place they call home is just a tent that's set up by tree branches and plastic bags.
Jadi hujan mana macam ya kalau hujan? Nggak basah aja. Ini kan kamu dapat cari di sini juga. Ya. Sebelum dapat ini kamu sudah di kotak.
15-year-old Rajita is different from children her age. She has never been to school and is illiterate. She has no pretty clothes as she has never left this landfill.
Baju kotor macam mana? Kalau baju kotor kami cari yang baju yang ada bersih-bersih itu cari tinggi. Dari itu sampah-sampah sana. Makan di mana? Kalau ada dijumpa di situ ada kita makan. Kalau tidak jumpa? Kalau ada jumpa diam tak? Dia saja, tidak makan. Nah, ada bagus kan ini sampah? Iya, ada juga bagus. Apa bagus dia? Sebab jumpa apa-apa di sini, jumpa makanan. Kalau ada apa-apa cerita,
Whatever food I find here, I bring them back and I eat one meal a day. Sometimes the aunties here give me food.
Villagers here don't have identifications, hence their children cannot go to school and can only live on collecting garbage for generations.
Kami tinggal di sini sudah ada 10 tahun, tapi keadaan.
We've lived here for 10 years. We hope to be like others and change our lives, so our children can go out to work and the younger ones can go to schools. However, we don't have the ability to afford it, so we're forced to stay here and live like a caveman.
Terpaksa kami tinggal begini macam orang hutan.
Her words were filled with helplessness. Norlina just wants her children to have food to eat and receive education, but the cruel reality of life and their nationality issues made her dream impossible to come true. A mother is crying for hope, but who can hear her?
The Tzu Books and Cafe Young Volunteers performance takes place on July 26, and recently all the participants came together to have rehearsals.
The kids do a bunny hop dance into the auditorium. Turning cleaning up into a dance, the young volunteers of the Tzu Books and Cafe are putting on a performance. Under the teacher's leadership, the young volunteers get into the show. Chen Yongning is participating for the 3rd year this year and has incorporated all she knows about recycling into her daily life.
By doing recycling, I can save so much. I have also learned what categories recyclables should be in. Sometimes I can even receive pretty second-hand items like handbags that I like that another has no use for. I will take it home and use it.
Showing off her skillful sign language song choreography, 5-year-old Wang Zhirong is also participating for the 3rd time. And this year, she has even brought her 3-year-old brother.
去年你有教他地球的孩子，对不对？对。那今年要一起学新的，对不对？对。
On the other side of the rehearsal room are even younger volunteers, many of whom have not even started school yet. This participant watched the performance last year and wanted to join this year.
那垃圾分类要做好的那段呢？爸爸给我看呢，然后我就觉得很有趣，我就想来啊。
The theme this year is returning to our spiritual hometown. Purification begins at the souls and starts from within ourselves. We are passing on Jing's lineage for what the Master has taught us to the young ones by simplifying it, so the little ones can feel and understand it.
The 4 days of sign language rehearsals will come to fruition on July 26th in Taiwan, as over 300 young volunteers of the Tzu Books and Cafe put on a performance which will definitely make everyone proud.
In early July, Hualien City Hospital has set up kidney internal medicine checkup room. In addition, the hospital has held a health talk on kidney health. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.